Colder air returns, there remains a need for people who don't have a home, but one option to warm up will not be there this winter. Wichita's HumanKind Ministries says it can no longer operate its emergency winter shelter. New at 6, 12 News anchor Jacob Albrock joins us to explain why. And Jacob, also a possible alternative.
We hope a possible alternative, though. HumanKind Ministries has a lot of different services that help people experiencing homelessness. This is one of them. Normally between November and March here, one of those is that emergency winter shelter. But this year, HumanKind says it cannot open that shelter. While nobody with the organization would go on camera with us, a spokesperson says HumanKind would be challenged to open one this year. The organization says the annual point-in-time homeless count has shown an 18% increase in those experiencing homelessness in the Wichita area. As that number of people seeking emergency shelter continues to climb, HumanKind says its facility capacity has been stretched and it won't be able to continue. We took the question today to Wichita Mayor Brandon Whipple. He says a plan is in the works for a new emergency winter shelter, with talks happening between the city, county, and other agencies, but he can't yet get into specifics.
Those details, they're kind of up in the air right now because, again, we're working with our partners, but we have been able to find funding to move forward on some of these plans. Just know that it is the city's position that we want to ensure that folks who are experiencing chronic homelessness, who are living outside, have access to a warm place to stay in the coldest months.
The mayor says more details should be coming soon. They're looking at the potential to house as many as 300 people. He says this is a short-term plan. The city's continuing to work on a long-term strategy to help get people housing. Mike?